Optimus. All I ever wanted was the survival of our race. You must see why I had to betray you.
You didn't betray me. You betrayed yourself.
No, Optimus!
Hello. Welcome to another exciting episode of Simon Says Wrestling. It's been a long week at the side. Yet to upload a video covering SmackDown and Raw this past week. Obviously, an eventful week. The Raw after Mania, SmackDown after Mania. With a lot of great highlights coming out of the show. Becky Lynch is now a heel. Braun Breaker is officially a part of the Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins new vision of life. And CM Punk and Roman Reigns might be forced to be working together again, whether they like each other or not, to stop this new entity from just taking over. An awesome TLC tag team match on SmackDown. Great television. We're not gonna dwell on to why wasn't it on the Mania card. At the end of the day, we got the match. It made for a great match on SmackDown. Great spots, awesome tag team wrestling on display on SmackDown, obviously. And Aleister Black is officially back. Hey, it just rhymed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. But the real reason I wanted to make this video today was during this weekend I was watching Transformers, Dark of the Moon. So obviously in Transformers Dark of the Moon, I think this is the second movie to the first Transformers back then. It's when Megatron had obviously been planning, and well, his plan was in action in that movie where he wanted to get Sentinel back to basically throw up these pillars that could bring Cybertron to Earth and then obviously enslave the human race. You're probably wondering what the hell that has to do with wrestling. So yeah, I'm just going to explain it to you. So obviously, watching that movie, I don't know, for some reason my mind always just refers everything back to wrestling. Because obviously wrestling is obviously a storyline. It's more compelling when it has a storyline behind it. And you get matches that are just that icing on the top. But the core base of any, for me, watching WWE growing up, obviously watching the WWE, storytelling has always been at the core of things. So as I'm watching this, I don't know, I get this weird feeling that, okay, let me try and put the characters in WWE form. So now you've got Optimus Prime, who I think is Triple H at this point in time. He tries to do what's right for the company. He pushes it in the right direction, and he will always make the tough decisions, whether anyone else likes it or not. And then you have Sentinel Prime, who is this basically one of the leaders of Cybertron, who was entrusted with obviously a whole lot of power and a whole lot of knowledge. And for some weird reason, when I saw Sentinel Prime, I was like, oh shit, that's Vince McMahon. And you have this defeated Megatron who's now trying to get back into the reins of bringing glory to Cybertron by making himself look like the hero. And I'm like, oh, that's The Rock. And I know I have my tinfoil hat on. It's a conspiracy theory that everything that I'm going to be saying in this video is alleged. There is no proof. This is just for entertainment purposes, and it's just to converse and obviously get my subscribers and people's thoughts and what they think is going on in this whole situation. So I've officially narrowed it down to the fact that Dwayne might be purposefully sabotaging Truple H and everything that he's working towards. So there's actually been a lot of signs as to how this guy is sabotaging WWE at this point in time. And to some point, I think Dwayne is so egotistical that he doesn't see it as sabotaging. He just sees it as trying to lift the brand up by always including himself in the biggest and most box office attractive main events to try and build up, I don't know, maybe his worth, his currency or something like that. I have no idea, but I'm also starting to think that it's happening way too consistently for it to be a coincidence or for him not to be aware of what he's doing. For instance, the first one, the universe, the WWE universe that is, we let it slide. We let it slide, we let him have his moment, and we actually just said, you know what, Dwayne, it's fine, we'll include you in the main event. We basically welcomed him because he's The Rock. He's somebody that we grew up on, and for that nostalgic feeling, we've always wanted and wondered what it would be like to have this guy versus Roman Reigns at his peak, because Roman Reigns now is basically the Anoa'i family's peak. Like, he is feeding generations and generations to come in his family, given the fact that The Rock at some point was also that sort of person in that family. So it's okay, we understand the heritage, we understand the culture, we understand the fact that he has so much pride in everything that he would like for everything to be centered around his whole family. And if you look at the history of the WWE, it's always been centered around the McMahon family. Rightfully so, because obviously the McMahon family is what brought us the WWE. So now you have Dwayne trying to be the successor of that. You have Dwayne trying to go from the McMahons to obviously the Anoa'i family, and we can safely say that the Anoa'i family is well represented in the WWE. That's something that we can't even take away from it. But he wanted to be the focus. So at this point in time, I'm like, okay, cool. As I'm watching Transformers, I'm starting to get this thought that what if Vince and Dwayne are working together to actively sabotage Triple H, which would then be Sentinel Prime with Megatron against Optimus Prime. But then we, as the universe, are just, we're brushing a lot of things off, but it's hard to brush a lot of things off when they keep happening consistently, especially around Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So he single-handedly ruined WrestleMania 41. And I can overlook the fact that he didn't come to WrestleMania 41. It's okay. He probably had prior obligations that he had to go to. Because let's face it, the guy, his priority is not the WWE. His priority is himself and his career in Hollywood. Rightfully so, he has worked so hard to get where he is today. His priority isn't the WWE. The priority is always Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and his career in Hollywood. As a fan, of The Rock and what he has done in the WWE, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the fact that this guy has his career in Hollywood and he's trying to push that, and he's obviously been making a lot of box office hits. Moana 2 obviously just came out recently, so he probably was promoting that or shooting a new movie on site. I don't know. For me, how he single-handedly ruined everything was when he came onto the Pat McAfee show. I don't know whether Pat had given him the questions that he was going to ask Dwayne, or this was just another let's wing it and see where we can get with this whole thing. I obviously gave my thoughts during the week because I had seen snippets of the interview. So I went back, I actually watched the interview, the full interview. And this guy was literally shitting on Truple H and his creative team. Like, he was literally out there saying that he would have done things a bit better. He would have finessed things a bit better. Okay, I don't think he elaborated as to what he would have done, but that sentence that says he would have finessed things a bit better and had a better ending to what WrestleMania 41 was. And I genuinely said that. And I was like, okay, what does it mean that he would have finessed things a bit better? Okay, what is finesse? What is finesse? What does Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson mean when he says he wants to finesse something? You can't finesse if you're not there. You can't finesse if you're not actively putting in input and letting the creative team or the creative process know that I would like things to go this way, I would like for things to go that way. And I don't think he actively went in and then gave his thoughts, because as huge as of an ego as Dwayne has, I think he somehow, at the back of his mind, thinks that the WWE needs him more than he needs the WWE. That's what I'm thinking. And I've always said, and I've always had this weird feeling that Triple H and The Rock don't get along. Triple H and The Rock do not get along. And I don't care who paints what picture or who wants what picture to be displayed, but Triple H and The Rock do not get along at all. If they have, it was for company purposes and it was for something for PR. But these two guys do not get along whatsoever. So The Rock says he would have finessed the situation a bit better. And maybe show up, I don't know, maybe show up to the event to maybe finesse it. Maybe show up, like maybe take, you telling me that The Rock does not have a private jet who should have flown him into Las Vegas, done what he needed to do, and head back to shooting. Like, just say, you know what guys, I'm just gonna be at Mania for like 30 to 45 minutes, go through some things with the guys, get the spot done, get this and that, and then just fly back. Like, is he that busy that he didn't even get? The Rock didn't even tweet about Mania. The Rock didn't even mention WrestleMania once. He only spoke about WrestleMania on the Pat McAfee show, and this was after the Raw after Mania, and obviously night 1 and night 2. This guy had said nothing. He didn't even give us any tweet. Like, The Rock didn't tweet anything about WrestleMania. And as we all know, WrestleMania is the biggest and most extravagant event that the WWE has. So why would its so-called biggest star, biggest attraction, not talk about it? But that's not where I'm going, because obviously The Rock cares about The Rock. That's it. I'm honestly starting to think that Vince is puppeteering Dwayne into making Triple H look bad. And at this point in time, I'm just wondering what their ultimate plan is. because if you remember how everything happened in this instance with The Rock and then with how he got onto the TKO board, if I remember correctly, Dwayne was endorsed and then given his props by Vince McMahon for being on the board, as he stated that he was the right fit for it because he has Hollywood attraction or something of that nature, which he has a lot of eyes on him, so he can bring a lot of good PR to the company. So at no point in time, sorry about that, I'm driving, I'm just trying to find a way to do this phone nicely. So at no point in time in The Rock's illustrious career has there ever been a point where I would have imagined him to be on the board of anything. Like, I believe that once The Rock was out of the WWE and went into Hollywood, he would focus solely on his Hollywood career. So how does he then become a board member? I didn't understand it. He had expressed, I don't think he had ever expressed any interest before the announcement. I don't think I've ever heard The Rock go, I would like to own a share of the WWE to make it better. I've never even heard him say anything remotely to that. So I'm at a point where I'm asking myself, how did this guy get appointed? And I remember at the time how Vince was also taken out of the company. Vince had obviously a lot of scandals surrounding his name, a lot of secrets, a lot of dirty secrets were coming out regarding Vince and the things that he would do with company funds. We're not going to get into that. I'm sure you all know the story. You've seen the documentary on Netflix. And he was basically just booted out of Survivor. It was like, the tribe has spoken and nobody wants you here. So obviously with that painting his image and obviously him being, I think it was 1/3 shareholder of the company, he had the executive decision to get someone inside to maybe run it for him. And you get the sense that, okay, cool, you have Truple H, who at the time was the what was Truple H? I think he was head of creative at the time. Yeah, he was head of creative. I would have imagined that the ranks would have gone to somebody like Stephanie McMahon, Shane McMahon to be on the board of directors of this whole merger, but it went to The Rock. But it went to The Rock, and that didn't make sense to me. And I just kept asking myself, how did Dwayne land this? What is it about Dwayne that Vince saw that business-wise that could say, oh, this guy can be on a board of directors? I had no, like, I was obviously confused at the time. I was so confused at the time. And I just took it at face value. I was like, oh, okay. This is probably somebody that he has known for the longest of time. This is somebody that he knows has made it in Hollywood and has a lot of connections to bring more eyes to the brand. And I was like, okay, cool. That's probably the reason why he's here. But at the same time, I'm like, there were better candidates. There were better people more suited for the position. But looking back at it now, I'm starting to think it's somebody that Vince wanted and could influence and could get information from. Now, like I say, this is for entertainment purposes and just obviously interactions. But I'm starting to think that Dwayne is a sleeper agent. Like, Dwayne is literally working for Vince McMahon, and they're coming up with a plan to sabotage Triple H and then make him look like he doesn't know what he's doing. Obviously, with a lot of backlash from the fans, who rightfully so will have backlash. But at this point in time, I don't think their plan is working, because the only people that look like dicks in this whole thing is actually The Rock. Now, I don't understand why people keep blaming Triple H for some of these creative fuck-ups, because Triple H literally in some instances does not have control over everything. like Triple H in most cases is brought in to fix people's messes. This is an interview also that I found on I think it was Busted Open with Baba Ray Dudley, and who we refer to as Baron Corbin, who literally said Triple H is the king of fixing people's fuck-ups. Like, if Triple H finds something wrong, he will fix it. So he finds himself fixing stuff that he didn't have any say or hand in. And it's so weird to me that this guy, Dwayne, comes up and says, you know what, I'm the final boss, I'm selling people's souls, I want to be involved with, obviously, a storyline with John Cena being one of actively one of the biggest moments in the history of the WWE. He wanted to be involved. And looking back at this whole thing and how it transpired, it would have actually been better if Dwayne didn't even show up at all. Imagine if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson had never shown up at any point during this whole process. Like, if he had not shown up, if Dwayne had not shown up at the Elimination Chamber, would this story have not been way better with Cody going into Mania against a babyface Cena, and obviously Cena turning heel on him at WrestleMania 41? That's obviously one of the... I saw it was a dirt sheet basically describing what was supposed to happen originally, until Mr. One Eyebrow involved himself, and then goes on to the Pat McAfee show, shits on Triple H, shits on everything that he was supposed to be involved in. So I don't understand. Do we have a friend or a foe in Dwayne? Is he someone that's actively just getting instructions from Vince, who's telling him on how to sabotage everything? Or is his ego that big and that bad that he thinks that the WWE needs him at this point in time? I don't know, guys. You let me know. Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna be dropping the review a bit later today, and just let me know what you guys think. What you guys think is going on with obviously Dwayne, with Triple H. Is there actual beef there, or is it just entertainment purposes? Could Vince be trying to get back into his own company? Could be. A lot of people have been saying that, you know what, just give the company back to... At no point in time should that company ever go back to Vince McMahon. At no point in time should anything that's WWE related at this point in time go to Vince McMahon. That's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. There could be people that say that Vince ran the show a bit better. I don't know in what world or whatever TV that you were watching you would think that Vince is running the show better than Triple H. But let me know what you think, guys. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys can know when new videos are dropping. And as always, now we're talking. Peace.